Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Looking for Love. I'm Trey Kearney,
And I'm Lamar Hall.
and we are here to bridge the gap between Generation X men and Generation X women and just having some good conversations about things that most of the time men and women argue about, but we're not here to argue. And one of the disclaimers that we have is that women, when Lamar is speaking for the brothers and we ask him a question, we want to listen, to receive, and to learn, not to judge and to ridicule. And for the men, when I am speaking and I'm speaking for the ladies, I would appreciate if you guys would listen and learn and check the comments. If the women are agreeing with me, that's the data. If it's 50 women that are saying, yes, amen, hallelujah, then there's some truth to it. And if the men are agreeing, ladies, with Lamar, and they're like, yes, Lamar, you on point, that is the data. And we need to listen. So the first thing I want to address, well, how was your week? I'm sorry, before I jump on.
Week is going good. I'm ready for it to be over.
Oh, almost weekend. We in Wednesday. We on hump day.
Hump day.
We about to go over the hump. We about to go over the hump. So my week was good too. I did a little acting,
Saw that.
a little acting, a little movie stuff. Y'all know I'm be on the big screen, accepting my Oscar. I like to thank my mom. I like to thank God. No, it wasn't that serious. I was a news reporter. It was a good experience. My memory, I had to really use my memory to remember my lines and different things like that. And I had to be outside in the elements. So I have a whole new respect for actors, actresses, and crews because I was cold and they was just out there like it wasn't nothing. And I was like, can we go now?
Keep us posted when the movie comes out. A little while for editing and stuff like that. But we look forward to seeing you on the big screen.
Oh, most definitely, most definitely. So let's get right into this because you know our time be going like, and we don't be having time for all our questions. But first thing I want to address is we had we talked about what's the proper time to wait to sleep with somebody, right? And I had posted a snippet on TikTok of, we were talking about the 30-day, 90-day rule.
Yeah.
And I saw two women on there who were kind of sort of judgmental and were saying, oh, he's talking from a carnal position and that's not the Christian way. And, that's not Christian like. And one of the ladies called, what did she call me? Some type of Christian, but like whatever it was. Let me just be clear here with y'all real quick. For those, if you're watching, the two women, they know who they are because I'm on TikTok too. Let me be clear here. First of all, speaking for my brother, Lamar never said he was a Christian. So you don't know what he is, right? Second of all, he didn't say anything that was ungodly. And I'm a Christian. Everybody know I love the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. And I pray every day with my people on TikTok. So I love Jesus. And like I said, let me be clear on what I meant when I talked. I never encouraged anybody to sleep with anybody outside of marriage. My exact words were, if a person is willing to deal with the consequences of their actions, 90-day rule, 15-day rule, you ain't got no business sleep with nobody if you a Christian and you ain't married. But 90-day rule, my exact answer was, if a person sleeps with somebody on the first night, as long as they can deal with the consequences of their actions, whatever that comes with, whether from Jesus or from that man never calling you again, that person has to deal with their self and God, and you don't get to judge. And don't come on here judging me and Lamar, Christians. Because what you're doing is being a hypocrite. On these streets being a hypocrite. And it's one thing my good girlfriend Neat, her grandmother says, don't be so churchy that God can't use you earthly.
I've never heard that one. Holy moly. Say it again.
Don't be so churchy that God can't use you earthly. Okay? Jesus sat with sinners. He didn't sit with.
I know who exactly I'm gonna tell that to.
Yeah. He didn't sit with the sinners, but Jesus sat with tax collectors, prostitutes. If you name it, he sat with them and preached and talked to them, not preached at them. Told them the word, the good word, the message of this is how you get there. And the Bible always says you reap what you sow. So if people decide they want to fornicate and sleep with somebody on the first night, the 8th night, unmarried, that's their business. That's between them and God. Once we share the word with them, we don't get the Bible told. We don't get to hit people in the head with the Bible. So thank y'all very much. Now, if you don't like what Lamar says, there's this thing rather, where you could scroll on by. You ain't never got to watch us again. So
I gotta go back and see. I gotta go back and see what I said.
no, you said I don't believe in the 90-day rule. I believe people are adults, and that's high school stuff. And if people decide that they want to sleep with somebody, whatever, basically the same thing in layman's terms, and I said it in Christian terms, but they want to listen. If y'all don't like what Lamar say, then you could go and watch somebody else, plain and simple, because what you're not going to do.
Full disclaimer, it's just my opinion.
Right.
just my opinion. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, I'm nobody, really. I mean, just like do what you want.
And full disclaimer, what you're not going to do is be attacking him on my watch.
Appreciate it.
I got a problem with that.
I got 2 shooters.
Yes. Okay. 2 6-shooters. We don't play that. All right. So we're going to get to our regularly scheduled program. If you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. And I'm Trey Kearney. This is my co-host,
Lamar Hall.
And we really are here to bridge the gap between Generation X men and women. And we really don't want a whole bunch of judgmental people on here, because what we do out of consideration for the mist that's going on in our generation, to bring us closer together and to bridge the gap. And we don't need religion to come into play where it's tearing us further and further apart. So this question, we're going to get to our first question. Where's my glasses?
So out of the, how many questions you got?
We got 4.
All right. Out of the 4, which one's the most controversial?
Well, I'm going to give you this one because this one is directed straight to you.
Oh, well, let's go. Shit. Let me sit up straight. Shit.
You sit up straight because this one says straight to you. Hey, Ms. Trey and Lamar, I really enjoyed the podcast. My question is really for Lamar. So just thanks for leaving me out of the equation. But no, it's okay. I was with my guy for close to 5 years. I went to school with his younger sister, ran into her at our class reunion. We started chatting and her brother's name came up. He's 3 years older than us. I mentioned I had a crush on him in high school. She said, well, he's single now. I think you guys should hook up. She said all good things about him, been single for a couple of years, 2 adult children. So I said, okay. So we got together. We had been together for almost 5 years when he decided to end it. We had a really good relationship, not perfect, but good. Lamar, I stay in my feminine energy. Okay. I guess she told you. I stay in my feminine energy. I keep myself up for a woman that's 48. My question is, why do men leave a woman and shortly marry another woman? We were single for about a year when his sister told me he married another woman. I'm very hurt, but I'm not stuck. Just need some sort of answer.
It's a lot. So, okay, let me get to do. So they knew each other, went to high school together. He was single, she was single. They dated for 5 years. They break up. She sees the sister out, and he's married after them being apart for a year.
Yeah.
Wow.
She asked you, but I'm gonna say he was already seeing homegirl. I'm sorry. Let me mind my business.
Well, I mean, that's always a possibility. I would say that it's always a possibility. I would ask her, do you think he was cheating? Do you think that this was somebody that was, what abruptly made the relationship stop after 5 years? I mean, what was there a disagreement? Was anybody want to get married? Or, I mean, there's still some low-hanging fruit. I need to make a decision. But to your point, let's use a scenario there was somebody else. If he leaves you to go to someone else, that might have been part of the agreement. I mean, depending on how serious they were behind your back, I mean, she may have been like, don't come over here if you ain't serious and you don't want to be married. So in an effort to show that he is serious about that could be doing. You don't know how long they fooled around, if they did, if this is the scenario. So let's say they messed around on the side for 2.5 years. So half of her relationship is half of that. And now it doesn't make it better, but it makes sense.
Wow. I'm just like, why wouldn't he marry her if he's been with her for 5 years, but you marry somebody a year after y'all break up?
I mean, I'm okay with that scenario that he was cheating. And I'll say, okay, for him to marry her, only being with her for a year, that he's probably known her for a minimum of a year to year and a half. And part of that, I know you got somebody and I want you to be with me, and this is how I want you to be with me. Then that might have been the stipulation. And that's why that happened the way that it did.
So her waiting 5 years.
Listen, we talked about this. You don't need 5 years to decide if you want to marry a woman. He knows within a year and a half.
Well, he certainly knew because he went and married a woman a year after they broke up.
Yeah, I mean, if you're waiting 5 years and stuff like that, I mean, you guys need to really, really talk, and I would encourage a lot of women out there in these new relationships within the first 30 days, get a person's perspective on marriage. I'm not saying talk about it or we got to get married, and just what do you think about it? Because even if your morals on the subject don't line up, man, that's going to be tough right there. So it's like and I'm not naming names. I got a buddy of mine. He likes to run the streets, but he wants to be married, but he wants his woman to stay at home. And I'm like, I said, dude, that's going to be a tough one there, brother. But that's what he wants. But if is she, and I don't think she understands that. So when it happens,
but we've been told as women, and it's a lot of this going around. We've been told that if you mention marriage to a man, you're going to run him off. So we're afraid in the first 30 days to even bring up the fact that marriage is an option, or even bring up let's say the M word. We're afraid to even bring it up because we've been told that when you bring that up, you putting pressure on a relationship already. And
don't make it about you. Don't make it specific. Just what are your views on marriage?
Right.
Do you like it? Are you for it? Are your parents married? I mean, there's ways to go around this and have a adult conversation about it. It's not, he's like, hey, I've been talking to you for 30 days. You gonna marry me? No, that's gonna scare a man off. If y'all just talking in general, go, hey, you don't talk about your parents that much. Are your parents still married? No. What happened? Oh, well, they got divorced. Oh, okay. Well, what are your views on marriage?
Okay.
That's just that simple.
So I want the ladies to know, because we really have been taught and programmed, do not bring up marriage or you're going to run that man off. So I want the ladies to know that it is okay. And even in that scenario, we've been discouraged to talk about marriage on any playing field until you rope them in, and then you could talk about it. But I already know I'm 54. I'm going to ask the question because I ain't saying I one foot on a banana peel, another one in the grave, but I'm on the other side of the mountain. I'm gonna need to know. I need to know where you at with me. I'm skating on the ice.
So 1 foot on the banana
and one in the grave. Listen, I'm not saying I am. I'm just saying I'm not on that side of the. Somebody. The hole might be dug, or I need to know.
Listen, any conversation at this age, we're talking our generation, any conversation should be had. I mean, very soon. I have had conversations with women about marriage as early as a week.
Oh.
Not that we were talking about us getting married. It was just in general conversation. What do you think? Do you think you'll ever get married again? It's like, that doesn't mean I'm going to marry you. That just means, do I think that? Maybe, it's like if I find that person that I need, and then you can talk about it and you can get a person's perspective on it. But if he's just like, hell no, then you might want to be like, this might be a little tougher than I expect.
Ain't no tougher than I expect. If he say, hell no, he ain't getting married leave.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying is that all these scenarios, you should be doing, all of these conversations should be happening within the first 30 days, max.
Ladies, first 30 days for my big brother, uncle, cousin.
Yeah, it's not, and you have to learn how to spin it. It's not an attack mode. It's just, we're trying to get to know each other. What are your views on, the government? What's your views on abortion? What are your views on, just different topics?
Yes.
And that's how grown people talk. There's a game. Hold up, I'm gonna show you. I played this game.
Oh, we got a game.
Look at this. It's called Black Love.
Black Love. By who? Because they about to sponsor us. We don't need our check.
It's called Couples Conversation Starters.
We don't need our check for that. Don't put that back on the screen. We got to call them up.
But look, I give you one of the things. It says, and it has a bunch of different questions. So one of the questions was, what do you love the most about your parents?
What do I love the most about my parents?
Hmm?
Oh, wow. Well, they wasn't together, so what I love most about my mother, I love my mother's honesty, tenacity, and how she loved people.
So again, I sat down and we went card after card, and it was just a great conversations. I mean, and it was her turn, my turn. We just went back, and it was just a good evening. We just sat and talked. Just kind of like brought some conversations that you didn't necessarily think about. You just like.
So we're gonna get that. We're gonna have to get that card game, folks, ladies and gentlemen. Hold on. Christina said, I'm learning that men mean what they say.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Christina. I hope so. If both people are sound and mature individuals, it shouldn't be hard to have a conversation on marriage. I totally agree. I just think that I don't know about this couple where he went and married somebody else a year later after them being together for 5 years. I don't know if they had a conversation about marriage. Maybe she said that she didn't want to get married, and maybe that's why he left and married somebody else.
Yeah. So
5 years is a long time to wait.
It is. We appreciate her conversation. I mean, her comment. Can she give us a little bit more detail so we can let the rest of the audience know? Well,
we could definitely reach out and see if she would like to share.
It's a lot
if she wasn't interested in getting married and he was, that would explain everything for us. Because even if you wanted to get married after you were in it for 5 years, if you said at the beginning, because sometimes we say things at the beginning, like, oh no, we cool. I'm not interested in marriage. And that's a stain in somebody's brain. And then you got to revisit these conversations as time passes by, because sometimes you change your mind. Like I've heard men say that they would never get married, and then they got married because they changed their mind. But that has to be a real conversation, because if the right person comes along, because a lot of us are got hurt by somebody.
Mm-hmm. We have at this stage,
right.
We're all carrying some form of baggage.
Right, we got our guard up, and so when we go into a relationship with somebody that we don't know is actually our soulmate, and we go into that relationship thinking, I'll never get married, until we see, like you said, a woman that's feminine, the softer side, and you're like, oh, wait a minute,
or she's listening, or she's diligent, and you just guys have a great communication. It's just it's not guys, definitely at this age, the guys are not afraid of these conversations.
Right.
Just you have to be soft about it. You have to not be at an attack mode. That's where you get men turned off. Most cases is that it feels like I'm having a conversation with another man. I want to have a conversation with my woman. I want you to be soft. So
we gonna
you guys know how to manipulate men. Y'all been doing it for centuries. Say it in.
We don't want to manipulate anybody, but
wrap it in a sweet bun, and just y'all can have
it in a sweet bun or some sweet buns.
There go one.
Okay, I'm not doing it tonight.
That's one.
I'm not doing it tonight. We're gonna get to our next question. If you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network. I am your host, Trey Kearney, and this is my co-host,
Lamar Hall.
And we are here to bridge the gap between Generation X men and Generation X women in a healthy way. So here's our next question.
Okay.
On my cycle, I have a real problem with my husband. This may be TMI, but I need some advice. We've been married for 3 years, and all of a sudden he wants to be intimate when I'm on my cycle. I told him I wasn't comfortable, but he insisted for a few months, so I did it. I felt disgusted afterwards, and I've refused ever since. It's causing a rift in our relationship, and I'm concerned about where this is going and why all of a sudden now. I've suggested therapy, and he refuses. Says I'm making a big deal out of nothing. And plenty of people do this. Am I making a big deal, and do plenty of people do this?
Plenty of people do that. There is an alternative.
What is
that? It's easy. Head.
But
I mean, he's not so bent up on I want to have sex. He just wants to be intimate. So,
but he wants to do it on her cycle while she's.
if she is on her cycle and she does not feel comfortable, he just gives him head. He ain't gonna say no.
I just.
There's not men. Listen, as men, we are not programmed, especially if we're in a relationship with you, to deny some head. Never ever has a man. Show me a man in a relationship and his wife, girlfriend, fiance, baby, I want to give you some head. Nah, I want to have sex. We can't have sex. Give some head. That's what he'll take.
Well, that's a solution. But she said all of a sudden he wants to do this, and he's saying plenty of people do it. I gotta say,
do it.
Do they? Like, why? That's just like and let me say this to the men. Let me say this to the men, for the plenty of men that are doing this. That is a time for us. One, a lot of us have cramps and other issues during that time of the month. Two, it's not a comfortable time of the month to be feeling like that you in the water with sharks, and the sharks are coming because they smell the blood. So, right. It's not a comfortable feeling. So for me, I just think that if you tell a man no, then he should respect that. And he shouldn't, that should be, now that you set that boundary and he doesn't respect it, then I believe there's something else going on. If he's still pressuring you to do that. I don't know if he went and did that with somebody else.
No, it's probably the girl that doesn't like giving head and he wants to have sex. It's like, if you don't give head, then you gotta have sex.
Wow, well, we gotta ask. Now we need to know if. No, now we really need to know. If
this is a very simple fix.
It's still a problem for me that he would even. Most of us are on our cycle for 3 to 7 days, right? That's not a long time.
No, it's not a long time. And the first 3 days, you don't want to touch her anyway. So it's like them first 3 days is a no-no. So you stay away from her.
All 6, 7 is a no-no if a woman is, until it's like, that's just a stop sign. That's what that means. Stop. Like, this is my time of the month where my body is cleansing itself. This is my time of the month where I really don't want to even deal with this myself. I don't even want to go to the bathroom. Like, I don't even want to deal with it myself, because it's not a time of, it doesn't feel good, and y'all don't get it, so you don't know. But let me explain to the brothers, like, listen, just whether it's 3 to 7 days, and even on that last day when it's not heavy, when it's just spotting, still your body, and then again, some women, we have different odors during that time because your body is releasing unused eggs. Like, nobody wants to be touched like that. And if he is not willing to respect your space to the point where you did it when you didn't want to and you felt disgusted, and you asked to go to therapy, there's other things going on.
You don't need therapy. You need to get some head. Shut up. You just go do what you got to do. He's like, you're making a big deal out of it. Now, if you don't want to give him any head, then I can understand why he's chasing you around the house. But this is very fixable. Just give him some head. I mean,
right.
Done.
I I don't even understand why she said, like, all of a sudden. It's been 3 years, and all of a sudden he wants to be intimate when I'm on my side.
Maybe he's just hornier. Who knows? I mean, I don't know how old he is, but I mean, if you're used to having sex 3, 4, 5 times a week, yeah, that's going to be hard for a guy. If he's a younger, let's say he's under the age of 40, he's dealing with this testosterone and this rage and stuff, and men just want to have sex all the time when they're that age. But as you get older, you become a little slower, a little patient, and you kind of go, I'm good. So we still have some information we don't have, but I do know from a man's perspective, give him some head. Just shut up. He's not gonna be complaining, believe me. Suck the life out of him. Put his ass to sleep.
Maritza says, so it's all about him.
Oh, man. here we go. We cannot win.
I'm just saying what our.
So if he wants to have sex and you can't have sex, then you're not supposed to have sex.
Well, if see, you don't, and again, this is not for us to bicker back and forth, but a man doesn't really understand that when your body is going through this, there's different things that are happening to you. Your breast hurt, you got cramps, your back is hurting. You know, it's a lot going on in them 3 to 7 days that we don't complain about, but it's happening to us.
There's different types of women in this world, and there are women that understand the importance of keeping a gun not loaded. Nobody can get shot if a gun is loaded. There's women that understand that. I have to keep this man, and it varies from man to man and woman to woman, but a man, no one will ever get shot if there's no bullet in that gun. So it is your responsibility, if that's your husband, that if he's desiring to be physical and you can't, that's part of it. Now, if you're not feeling good and you're cramping, and that's a different scenario. If you're walking around the house and you're going to the gym and you're just like, oh, if I can't get mine, you can't get yours. I don't want to be in that relationship.
Wow. And somebody said, hold on, we got a lot of comments going on over here. Wait a minute. The stream is moving.
They hit that nerve. Here we go.
A second. I want to be wanted. I'm a man. But you are wanted, Razzle. The difference is it's just 3 to 7 days of you are wanted. It's not like you're not wanted. It is the fact that a woman is on her cycle, and that's uncomfortable, number one. Number two, there's blood all over the place. Like, nobody wants blood. You got to put a towel down. You got to, like, nobody don't want to deal with all of that. It's just a messy crime scene.
Shark attack. But what I'm saying is that I am on your side if she is not feeling well. Where I differ is if she is 100% okay and she's just on her cycle, it's your responsibility to take care of that man. You should want to. You should want to. If you're not hurting, if nothing's wrong with you, why wouldn't you want to please your man?
Wow. RC said if a man don't marry a woman he's been in a relationship for 2 years or more, and he leaves his ex and marries another woman, he couldn't get over something she did or done.
Could be that too. We're going to get more information on that one.
Yeah, we're going to definitely get more information. Well, this is what I have to say to my sister. If you're on your cycle and you're uncomfortable, there's a conversation that you don't do it. And there's a conversation, and there's more to this than if you're talking about going to therapy. I'm sure that there's more to the story than meets the eye, but don't ever allow somebody to do something to your body that you're not comfortable doing, because that is a violation of you. And I wouldn't, if I didn't feel comfortable, I would not do it. And I would just tell him, we can, again, like Lamar said, we can do something else if I can please you in another way. But if his sole focus is on, I want to be intimate that way with you while you are on your cycle, there's something else going on that y'all definitely need to work through, because why he started after 3 years, and if you could please him another way, and you weighed all the options and done all the things like Lamar said, and he still wants to be intimate with you while you are on your cycle, that's a control issue, and some other things are going on. And I would be talking to somebody about that, a professional.
True.
So we're going to go to our next question. Oh, kissing myself. Let me get right to the point. My BF likes to go down. Oops. My BF likes to go down.
BF is best friend or boyfriend?
Boyfriend.
Okay.
Likes to go down on me. The problem is he always tries to come up and kiss me. Nope, I ain't with that. He says, I can put my mouth down there, but you can't kiss me afterwards. That's crazy. Is that crazy?
Yep.
Oh.
You can't be nasty with me. I don't want you. So.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Well, Lamar said that's crazy. It's yours. Right. I have to agree that, if you expect him to put his mouth down there and you don't expect him to kiss you after he's down and he comes up and y'all are in an intimate. I'm sure he's not just going down there and then coming back up and saying, kiss me because I was down there. I'm sure the moment is moving and, You know what I mean?
Listen, half the women, I'll be like, I want to taste it too. Come here.
Oh, no.
That's one for me.
Lord Jesus. I don't want to taste it too, but I wouldn't reject my man from kissing me because he went down there. I wouldn't do that. But I'm not necessarily like, yeah, come on up here so I could taste me too. No.
That's what I like. But,
no.
but what I'm saying is, okay, so you gave your woman's perspective. So the man said, if a woman gives me head, I'm going to kiss her. No big deal. Now, if I finish, you got to go brush your teeth first.
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness.
That's two.
You two tonight. You one up on me. So maybe, I don't know, like she has to ask herself, why do you have a problem? Why are you okay with him putting his mouth down there? It's safe. I mean, I'm sure you clean yourself, you take care of yourself, unless you don't. And there's some type of odor or there's something going on down there that you're disgusted with. Because when he comes up, I mean, like I said, when you are having an intimate moment, nobody's, there's kissing involved and there's humping and there's hugging and there's a whole lot involved. Nobody's going to stop to say, because you're going to keep going, because that's usually the first thing that a man does to a woman. Mm-hmm. And then, that's the foreplay. So you think that through all of this and everything that he's not going to want to kiss you? Yeah, it's your own juices, Maritza said. Maritza.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man. I mean, you're how old are you? Let's ask that first question. How old are you? Because that seems like something a younger person may have.
I don't think so. I think everybody that comes on here knows that we are Generation X because we say this every week. So I don't think young people are really tuning in.
I think we get some under 40s in here.
Okay. Maybe
I think we get some under 40s. So I can see, okay. I mean, if you're...
yeah, the stream is moving again.
Okay, good. I just think, listen, I was married to somebody that wouldn't drink water after me.
Oh, Lord. What?
Yeah, we couldn't share a water bottle. And I would look at her and go like, what? You can give me head, but I can't drink after. What? It makes no sense. And then I dated somebody and they was brushing their teeth with my toothbrush. I was like, hold on, time out. We're doing too much.
Oh, no, you're not brushing your teeth.
So, I mean, there's just different people. I mean,
there's different levels of nasty.
Yeah.
Was your wife a germaphobe? I mean, your ex-wife, or no? Because she was down there.
Kind of, little bit. But I mean, it just varies from person to person. I mean, that's why you should date a lot of people, figure out what the hell you need.
Oh no. So Fred said that shouldn't be a problem. It's your flavor.
Yeah, it's hers. So, but that shouldn't be anything that should be detrimental to the relationship either.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's yours. Yep. You crazy.
What are the women saying?
The women are saying it's your juices. Grace said real talk.
I have dealt with women that come out and she be like, I taste pretty good.
Somebody said the mouth and nose has a lot of bacteria.
Oh, jeez.
It ain't got as much bacteria as somebody's vagina. I wouldn't think that.
Your mouth is dirtier than your vagina.
Oh wow! Well, if you're gonna put your head down there, I mean, that's close to other stuff, and you don't want to kiss somebody,
brush your teeth.
Well, they're gonna have a problem. They're gonna really have a problem because I don't think he's gonna stick around if you're not willing to kiss him while you guys are in the middle of.
Either that or he's gonna stop doing it.
Oh. Well, baby, that's a real problem for her.
So you got to ask yourself, take the lesser of two evils. Do you want to lose your man or do you want him to stop?
Mike said mouthwash. I would, if I was him. Now, brother, if you listening, well, he not listening because she wrote in. But brothers who are listening, if you want to solve this problem, stop going downtown. Oh, she gonna straighten right on up.
Oh, she's straighten up.
Oh, she gonna straighten up.
Oh, you don't want to kiss me? I'm not going down anymore.
Right, because why you don't want to kiss me?
There you go. So, hey, you start to realize you got a little power there, guys. You know, like if she likes it,
well, of course she does.
Okay.
Of course she does. Because if she didn't, he wouldn't be down there.
And let's tongue kiss.
Right. Well, he don't want. I would, like I said, if I was him, I would don't
I
start.
wouldn't go there. I wouldn't.
I would say, okay, well, I'm not going to do it
I
anymore.
wouldn't do it anymore. I'd be like,
And I'm sure she would say, okay, I'm going to kiss you.
there we go.
I'm sure, because again, most women, well, a lot of women, I should say, based on women that I've talked to and I've coached, can't reach a climax without that. So most women
Really?
ain't gonna, yeah, most women ain't gonna pass that up because they need that to get to where they're going. That's why most women want that first, because they want to get theirs.
So most women want to get theirs first.
No, I shouldn't say most women want to get theirs first. Most women want to get theirs.
Okay.
Because once he get his, it's usually over. Unless you got an OG, and then it ain't over. But most of the time, women want to make sure they're going to be pleased, so they want to get theirs.
Yeah, I mean, the man should please first. It should be all about her in the beginning, and then 30, 40 minutes of that with her, give you 20, 30 minutes with you, then it's a good night.
Yes, because men always get theirs.
Yeah, that's easy.
That's inevitable. Like,
that's easy.
Unless it's just. I have one question, but
do women hate that men can climax easy?
No, because let me say this: women who know their body, it's not a problem for us. It doesn't take 99 years and a man going down. If you know your body, if you know the angles and you know your spots,
yeah,
then as long as you have a man that's not a minute man, as long as he's good for 30 to 60 minutes, then you good, because you're going to get yours in the first 15 if you know your body. But a lot of women don't know their own body. So that's the reason why they can't get to where they want to go.
But we talked about this. A lot of women are not getting it because mentally they're using toys and it's desensitizing. And the same thing with men is that you're looking at porn and all that other stuff, and that messes it up. If you're a guy that doesn't have stamina, stay away from the porn.
Right. And another thing too is for adults, like mature adults, it's more mental than physical. And if you know your body and you can mentally connect with somebody, it's a whole nother experience.
Listen, any woman that not comfortable talking dirty, I'll tell you this, that is the key. If you have a guy that you can't get him going, or it's hard for him you gotta learn how to talk, because it's just something about when a woman talks dirty that just you lose it.
For women, it's so minimal, right? Exactly. It really don't take that long, right? If you know your body, it really don't take that long. Gen X in 60 minutes. Absolutely, Gen X in 60 minutes. Don't play no games.
Hey, don't play no games. I got like 2 hours in. Shit.
Right. Don't play no games with Gen X. Okay. Gen X men and women, Gen X men and women who know their bodies and who've been taking care of themselves, it ain't no minute man or minute woman. It's it's a whole intimate
it's a whole
experience.
Yeah, right. It's a whole
experience when you get the right person and you know your body, and you have a mental connection with that person.
Yep.
It's a whole experience. Facts, sexy, dirty talk. RC said facts, sexy, dirty.
I'm telling you, guys, man, you want a guy to hit his point quick, talk dirty.
Oh, no.
I'd be like, hey, slow down. Slow down. The Ferrari is revving up too fast. So,
no.
It's powerful, especially if you care about the woman. You know, she's just dirty play is good.
Okay. Ladies, talk dirty to your man.
Talk dirty to your man.
Talk to your man. We learning tonight. Let's get to our next question. How much time? We still got a little bit more time. We can do one. Let's go to this next question. This gonna clean it up a little bit, because we was going way over, because we started to be we started to get Dr. Ruth over. We started Dr. Ruth up in here. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New U Nation Network YouTube channel, to bridge the gap between Generation X men and Generation X women, so we can have Healed, whole, healthy relationships. And I am your co-host, Trey Kearney, and this is my co-host,
Lamar Hall.
So we're going to get to our next question.
Right.
Bills, bills, bills. I know this conversation is worn out, but I need help. My significant other makes way more money than me. We moved in together and we've talked about marriage. We moved in together a few months ago, and last month he jokingly asked me for my half of the rent. I laughed and let it go. So this month on the 1st, he said, we need to talk, and informed me that he didn't think it was fair that I moved in and haven't contributed to the rent. I contribute to other stuff. I am so upset about this. When I say he makes way more money than me, I am not exaggerating. Where do we go from here? By the way, I gave him half the rent on the 1st because I felt pressured. Girl, run for your life. Run. Run, Forrest, run.
So the way that should have been spent is that whatever she used to pay, that now becomes discretionary money, savings, investing, things of that nature. You don't get to keep that money. That money goes into a savings account for us to build our future. We're saving for something now. We're saving for a home. We're investing. We're doing whatever we're doing. That's what that money now becomes. Just because I have the bills doesn't mean that you just get to sit on your money too.
So no, she said I contribute in other ways.
Oh, but what I'm saying, he should. Let's for all case purposes. If he pays all the bills and she brings home $5,000 a month, $2,500 every 2 weeks, they should come up with a number of that money that she could put into a savings account for both of them to view for things that they want in the future. So if he's paying everything, what was your rent at your other place? What was your light? What was your water? What was your cable? That's the money that goes into there, which leaves you with your discretionary funds to do whatever you want. Your hair, your nails, clothes. You don't have to ask another human being for nothing because you work and you do the same thing. So you got to sit down and have these conversations. He's comfortable taking care of everything. He does not want to be taken advantage of, is basically what he's saying. So put your money that you were already spending because you're a grown adult, put it into a savings account, and this is what we're saving for our future.
Well, let me just say this seriously. Number one, y'all should already had a conversation before you even moved in that he was expecting you to pay whatever portion of the rent, your half, because he said, where's your half of the rent, right?
He said that jokingly. You can tell that was jokingly.
Well, jokingly or whatever, but then he came the next month and said, we need to have a conversation because I don't think it's fair that you don't pay, you don't contribute to the rent. Before y'all even moved in, this whole conversation should have been had. Second of all, if he makes way more money than you and he's concerned about you paying rent on a place where he was already paying everything, for me, maybe not for anybody else, but for me, that's a red flag. And I'm not saying that she should keep her money because she said, I do contribute. So I'm sure that she's gone to the grocery store, maybe her cell phone, the things that she's been taking care of. But the rent portion of it, she's not doing anymore. And if you are, again, she said they talked about marriage. If a man is willing to take you on and marry you, then he should be prepared to take care of the basic necessities. This is just me, the basic necessities of the home. He should be able to maintain that on his own. And if he has a problem and he makes way more money than you, she said, I'm not exaggerating. I got to say this too. Sometimes, have you seen his pay stub? Because maybe he don't make way more money than you. Maybe he said that. But have you seen his pay stub? Do you actually really know how much money he makes? And if he's going to marry you and you feel upset about this, then y'all need to really sit down and have a serious conversation about where's this going. And I don't know if they plan on having kids or if they're in a relationship now and they're over, this is their second relationship and they have grown kids or whatever that looks like, because once y'all get together, everybody's money is everybody's money. So if your kids need something or his kids need something or something needs to be taken care of, the refrigerator breaks down, We really need to know who's handling what. And if you're the man of the house, I'm sorry, these men out here is on some feminine. Okay.
But what I'm saying is that he could have easily just said, baby, this is what I need from you, and this is what we're going to do with this money. I don't need it. We're going to put it into this account, and we're going to buy a house, bigger house, whatever. If he has a home already, investment, whatever, that money is whatever we choose to do with it. But it's not for you to start going buying bags and shoes and all this other stuff with either. So it's up to the man to lay this plan down when you bring a woman into your home.
Right.
She moved in with you. Here's my rules, because I've done this.
Ain't no rules. Now we're gonna rephrase that. Let's okay. reframe. Let's reframe that.
Here's how we're gonna approach this.
Yes.
If I'm taking care of 100% of everything, and your money, what you used to, goes into a savings account. End of story. That's very simple to deal with. And we'll agree what it is. How much do we need to put in there? If you're bringing $5,000 a month, 3,000 of it should be going into this account, because I'm taking care of everything else. So now we can start to save some real money. You know, depending on how old you are.
Comments. The woman should just be there to help. Is that Tony? Are you a woman? Because if you're a woman, say, because we need to know what perspective you're talking from. Oh, somebody said, or has he been burned by a living girlfriend in the past?
That's what I'm saying, is that until you get married, sit down and have this conversation, put money into a savings account. So let's say if the relationship doesn't work, whatever's in that savings account, then split it. Now nobody feels like that dad got jerked over.
Wow. Tony said he should, let me see if this is, hold on. Tony Lee, I think this is, he said he should take care of everything. Are they married? No, they're not married. And Finley said he wasn't joking. I feel the man pays the rent or mortgage as the king of the castle, and you pay everything else. That's fair to some degree. That's a conversation they should have had place before moving in together. Yes, Fred. Maritza said run. Yes, run for your life. That's not going to happen. I don't do bags and shoes unless she's buying them Chanel bags herself. And this is what I mean by, I believe that when a man asks a woman to marry him or move in with him, either or, whichever way you live your life, because we're not judging people over here, but whatever way you live your life, I believe that the man should be able to handle the basic necessities of the home at the level of his salary. Now, if the woman wants extras and perks, then she has to kick in. If she wants a bigger house, if she wants to add, she wants the kitchen redone. When you start to make requests outside of his salary, outside of what you can't dig in his pockets. I don't believe in that, but I believe he should be able to maintain the basic necessities of the home on his own without even worrying about her money. That's just what I believe. And we living in a different time, because that's what old school real men used to do. Like, whatever the wife was, he like, I don't need your money. I don't need nothing from you. I'm good. Because if you leave here tomorrow, guess who's still gonna be good? If you take your little raggedy check, guess who's still gonna be good? So you go, and again, if you got a good woman and you handling everything, she gonna naturally kick in. She gonna pay the groceries. She gonna pay the phone bill. She gonna say to you, babe, what do I need to do? If you with the right person, you ain't gonna have to feel like I'm being taken advantage of and you gotta put half the money in the savings account. She just gonna kick in. When I was in relationships, I just kicked in because I saw that the man was doing what he needed to do. And I was like, yo, the oil, the whatever, here you go. Like, I see you doing the bulk of everything. I don't have no problem with that. But that's grown.
I can speak on this because it's my scenario. At some point, mine is going to move in with me. We sat down and had conversations, and I told her, I said, listen, this is what I need from you. And this money is going to go into this account, and this is what we're going to buy a house with. And she's like, okay. And that was the end of the discussion.
Yeah, well, again, and that's the whole thing. Communication is the key to success in relationships. Just folks, just have conversations when you're sitting down with folks and y'all talking about moving forward into moving in on marriage, you should know exactly what you're getting yourself into, because again, we're living in a time where there's traditional and modern women. We're living in a time where there's traditional and modern men, because there's some men that require half. Whether they got 5 cents or $1,000,000, their mindset is you gonna pay half. So we gotta have these conversations, because I'm a traditional woman and I've been in a very good relationship before where there was no financial obligation for me at all. Because he was like, I don't take money from women. I don't need nothing from you. I'm a grown man.
I agree with that too.
I got you and I got me. If I ever need you, I'm pretty sure you're gonna kick in. But for now, boo, please put your little purse down. That's how he was like, what? What's with, please?
And that creates a different dynamic in a relationship too. Is that and again, I tell guys all the time, admiration and respect. That's how you're going to create admiration and respect in your relationship. You do things like that. That's when that woman is looking at you like, oh, that's mine. You know, that's what you want as a man. That's what men thrive on. That's what men need to exist.
Right. That level of respect that I had for my ex-husband, and just going down the path of dealing with other men and seeing what's in these streets now, I'm like, yo, y'all some jokers. Like seriously. Like he was like, even when I was working my job and we started a business or whatever, but even when he was like, girl, even when he didn't have a lot of money, even when he did not have, he said, girl, please.
I don't think a man should be asking for half the rent. I mean, like you said, take care of all the other stuff. You know, it's like, you know, if you want to pay the cell phone, the lights, the cable, you know, whatever, take care of that stuff. You know, if you're a man and you can handle everything, then you just come up with a discretionary fund that she needs to do whatever she needs to do, hair, nails, whatever. And then there's money that needs to be saved for emergencies. That's a very smart financial relationship.
Traditional goes out the window when you make modern money. See, this is what I'm saying to men that think like that. And no offense to you, but whether she making modern money or no money, that you should be a man that is handling your business. So whatever money she make, it shouldn't even be your concern. Not that we want anybody to use anybody, but you should be able to stand on your own 2 feet. And the mindset of men nowadays is so different than what it was when we were coming up. And
women too. Unfortunately, it's the sign of the times. So it's really unfortunate. But again, there's a lot of ways to cut this cake. So yes. it just requires the proper, respectful communication.
It really does. And again, when a man handles his business the proper way, it just makes a woman really just love him, respect him, honor him, adore him. And it's not because of money. It's because of the fact of the level of responsibility, that you are a responsible man. Yep. That gives you this level of respect. Like, wow, he just responsible with his life. So I could follow him because I know he's not going to let the ship sink. When you start talking about, girl, give me my half and where's this? You like,
that's why men don't need to get married until they're in their late 30s, because you're not going to be established. You're not going to be able to do those things out of college. You know, if you're making $45,000 a year, $50,000 a year, you can't do that. And a man doesn't start making money in his career in between 35 and 45. That's just the reality of it. It takes time. And I don't know, that's why men do not need to get married like that. They just need to just date, become interesting, and get your finances together. So when you meet a woman, you can do the right things, take care of the household. So now she respects you. She looks at you with admiration. And it's a healthy relationship.
Right. I totally agree. I'm not saying that men shouldn't be dating. I just don't think a man should get married if he's not prepared.
Correct.
To be able to maintain a house.
Correct.
On his own, and to be able to provide for his family without
100%.
talking to anybody.
100%. I agree.
100%, right. Except, and again, we're not talking about red bottoms and fur coats and pocketbooks. I'm talking about the necessities of a family. I'm talking about a roof over our head, food, decent cars, and things where we can get around. And if anything else, if it's above that and I want some other extra stuff, then I got to do that for myself. I got to kick in for myself. I just think a lot of men are going into relationships right now unprepared to be the head of the household. And that is a complete turnoff for women because it causes unnecessary stress. And so many people think gold digger, this and that. No, if I have to kick in and be half of the man of this house, you're not going to get whole respect from me if I'm doing half of what the man is supposed to do. Because now I'm looking at you strange, like, now I got to go to work. Now, God forbid, I get pregnant and we have some kids. Now I have to go to work, take care of the kids, and I'm taking care of the house because I understand as a woman, I'm taking care of the house. Now I'm going to work because I got to make sure I give you half the money because the rent got to be paid and stuff got to be, and I got to take care of the kids, and I got to please you sexually, and I got to clean up the house, and I got to do all these other things, and I got to be half of the man, and you want to be the head of the household. Yeah. No, sorry.
That's perfectly said, because that's exactly why most of these relationships are not working, because the roles are not defined, they're not communicating, and then it's just a bad scenario. Stay single until a man can handle 100% of everything.
Yes, and let's be honest, there are roles and responsibilities in the house for the man and for the woman. There are roles and responsibilities. There's roles and responsibilities at your job, because if everybody was coming in there and everybody was doing what they wanted to do, it wouldn't be a successful business, because people would be doing stuff they ain't had no business doing. Somebody would assume that somebody was about to do that. Well, I thought you was about to do it. Oh, of course you did, because nobody knows their roles and responsibilities in the relationship at a corporation. Right. So I don't understand why people act like there's no roles and responsibilities in the house. And when you bring in gender, everybody wants to go crazy.
Right. I mean, my aunt is 61 years old. I remember when I was married, we were talking. My ex-wife never took out the trash.
Thank you, Jesus.
Never, ever touched it. She didn't cut grass. She didn't do any of that stuff. So, but the whole thing is, I didn't wash dishes.
Right.
You know, we both did the laundry, and we both folded the laundry together. So as you're talking, you know, as you know, marriage and this and that, kid comes, this and that. So I got a housekeeper because she's, I'm tired. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Right. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get this housekeeper. And I'm not a man that requires a home cooked meal every day. I don't need that. You can cook me once or twice a week. I'm good. I'll eat leftovers. I'm good. But I'm not going to compromise on our intimacy. You know, so I was like, I took a lot of that stuff away from her, and then she was still like, oh, I'm tired. I'm like, okay. So mommy is like, listen, guys, get your finances together, get your health together, have some experiences, travel, date, become interesting. When you become interesting, then you meet a woman and she says, hey, come and live with me. I got my own stuff, your money. We're going to put it in a savings account, going to get us a house, whatever the case may be. That woman will worship the ground you walk on, dude.
Absolutely. Again, when a man takes the burden of finances off of a woman, she's a whole different woman, because women worry about security.
Right.
Women worry about security and protection. And I don't mean protection, you need to go outside and beat somebody up. I mean, women want to be secure and protected in a relationship, to know that this is something I just don't have to worry about, because the worst thing in the world is a woman with anxiety. Because when women get anxious, they get depressed, and then they start acting crazy, and then they start holding out. They don't want to be intimate anymore. No, seriously, because a lot of times men be like, my wife don't want to have sex with me. We're not intimate anymore. I'm like, where was the breakdown in the relationship? Yeah. Because there was a breakdown in the relationship that shut that part off. Because when a woman doesn't respect you any longer because you're not handling your business as a man, your body doesn't react to somebody being on top of you just because they on top of you. Your body reacts to somebody. You don't get moist down there if that man ain't handling his business. Like, it's the Sahara Desert. It's like, get on top and get done because I gotta do this. But when you handling your business,
What? So again, I'll be very transparent. Lamar at 20 years old to 32 wasn't a very good guy. I didn't hold jobs. I didn't have the focus. Got married, still, working piddly this and that. I ended up talking to my ex-wife later on, probably maybe about 4 or 5 years ago. We ended up talking, and I asked her. I understand. I didn't deserve your respect all the way up to that time. I said, but when I did go back to school, when I did become successful, when I did do these things, why didn't it show up then? And she looked at me and she said, I tried. She was honest, and I respect her for that. She was just like, I honestly tried. And again, I didn't work jobs a lot. I'd work and, I didn't hold it that long and this and that. And it's warehouse jobs. I wasn't making no money. And she just saw that raw Lamar. And
she
when I
lost
turned,
respect.
and then she lost respect for me, and I didn't deserve it, and that's how I dealt with it. And I sat and talked to her, but where I struggled with it was when I became successful. When you saw that I was trying to be better, why didn't you? And she said she tried, and she couldn't do it.
Yeah, it's this saying that I saw. Somebody said, once I don't respect you, there's no re-respecting you. So
It's true.
most of the time when people lose respect for you, they're never going to gain respect for you again, especially in a relationship, because It's like, you failed and I'm done.
True.
I was stressed and depressed in my marriage. Hold on, right? My body don't respond, broke and stressed. Right, exactly. That's right, very true. Even with defined roles, each must willing to step in for the other's roles. I agree. That's why a man should pay for the roof and over our head, and you make sure we're fed. Everyone should know the expectation, but it always starts with having conversations. Yes, Fred, because people always say, and I just disagree when people say you shouldn't have expectations because expectations lead to disappointment. No, you should have expectations because you're going to be disappointed anyway. There should be some expectations on your children. There should be some expectations in a relationship. There should be expectations. You should not have unrealistic expectations, because that's when the problems come in. Because most of the time when people come in with expectations, they're unrealistic. And that's when we have a problem. But you should have expectations of a person. I don't, I expect you to have a job.
True.
Like, I really expect you to be able to take care of yourself at least. But I shouldn't have unrealistic expectations that you need to be a millionaire in 2 years, because then we really talking crazy.
Like you said, manage the expectations.
Yes.
I always tell young women and young men, it's like, listen, put yourself, the sooner you learn how to put yourself in other people's shoes and look through things through other people's eyes, and I mean really do it, and be critical of yourself, that's when you'll start to change.
Yes, accountability, self-awareness. So if you just tuned in, you're tuned into Looking for Love. We're here every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the New You Nation Network, and we are bridging the gap between Generation X men and Generation X women by having healthy conversations without bickering back and forth and turning Generation X men against Generation X women, but instead trying to kind of sort of bring some unity into our generation. So we're at our time. I just looked at the clock. Oh my goodness. Tim said, true. Once I lose respect for a man, I have no use for him. Woo! Ooh! Ouch! Ooh. Ouch! That was like. So we hope that you'll tune in next week. We'll come back with more questions and more answers. If you have a question for us, you can email us info@TreyKearney.com, or you can hit us up in our DMs. We don't mind. Hit us up in our DMs. You can find me at Trey Kearney on Instagram, and you can find Lamar
MAR_T_Hall 13
on Instagram, or you can hit me up on TikTok at Trey Kearney 26. We will be happy to answer your questions, or we'll be happy to talk about a topic or a subject that you are dying to talk about, but you think it's TMI, too much information. It's never too much information for us. So we thank you again for tuning in tonight. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, New You Nation Network YouTube channel. And we will see y'all next Wednesday, same time, same station at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Peace and blessings. Good night.
Night.